right, good evening and welcome. Today is May 10th, 2023. For the DeKalb Township Board of Trustees meeting. Can we get a roll call, please?
Absolutely. Trustee King, I almost said trustee
Present.
Trustee McNutt.
Present.
Supervisor House.
Present.
Let it be known that Trustee Thurman and Trustee Bradlow are absent, and also present is Highway Commissioner Craig Smith. And
Rich is absent.
Rich is absent, usually.
Okay. All right. Pledge of allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
And if you could let the record reflect that we do have a quorum.
We do have a quorum.
Skin of our teeth, but we have. Okay. All right. Any changes to the order of the agenda or items on the agenda? Okay, agenda is approved. No one here for public comments. Someone will be here to present a little bit later. So let's just roll into the hearing for the DeKalb Township Road District Budget and Appropriation Ordinance. Can I get a motion to open the hearing? Open the motion. All in favor of opening the hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Okay, the hearing is now open, so floor is all yours.
I will just, there's not a lot of change from last year. I think the big difference is in the payroll. Due to, what am I trying to say, restrictions in the permanent road fund. Can only pay the staff that work on the road, so Aaron coming on full time. And Jody part-time with road grids, that gets inflated a little bit, permanent road goes down because there's only 2 people. You know, and not 3 anymore. Other than that, there's really not a ton of changes in there. It's pretty much a lot of the same line items when it comes to equipment and different things of that nature. So yeah, so I'm open to questions and or concerns if anyone has any.
Think we'll get a lot of snow next year or this year.
That's a good question. What is a farmer's almanac?
I don't look at it, but they say it's some accuracy to the farmers.
Like it's spooky how sometimes it's right on.
That's what people say. Yeah, people that I know from out here that are kind of more farmy say that. They
They
trust.
die by that thing.
Yeah, they do.
Any questions from the board? And there's no one here from the public. So just go into a vote.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
All right. So I will make a motion to approve ordinance 2023-001R, DeKalb Township Road District Budget and Appropriation Ordinance for the fiscal year beginning April 1st, 2023 and ending March 31st, 2024. Can I get a second? Or yeah, second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee King,
Yes,
Trustee McNutt,
Yes.
and Supervisor House.
Yes.
With 3 ayes and 0 nays, the motion passes.
And I will make a motion to close the hearing and adjourn to the regular board meeting. Second.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor, by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? All right, we have adjourned to regular board meeting. So going into reports, supervisor's report. We have hired a new caseworker who will begin May 22nd. And then in the beginning of June, that's when Kim will be going full time. So we will have someone available the whole time. Or here 5 days a week, same person. Couple of things about the cemeteries, or particularly Oakwood. on April 21st, we had a group of NIU students come in, as they did last year for NIU Forest Day, and clean up Oakwood, mainly picking up sticks and any garbage and things like that. So hopefully it was in pretty good condition for the first mowing of the
It
year.
was.
So that's always nice to have the young people doing that.
I
Then,
saw a picture of that
yeah, we had a
somewhere.
nice. We put one on Facebook, but I don't know if any. if
Jeff
they
may have
posted it.
put one, Jeff Salmon, was he with you? Well, he said, you don't know his name.
Which department is he working?
He's the College Student Association.
Yes, I believe. he was
CSA
with us.
office, okay, yeah.
Yep,
Sorry about the interruption, but I was thinking, I saw a picture.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So they did a real nice job, and we're, kind of fascinated by the headstones there and how far they dated back and so forth. So it was good. And then last week we had a burial there. So those don't happen too often. And something that I want to just start to begin to have a discussion on so that you can think about it. There in 2021, we started some tree maintenance services. And there was a tree that was it's dying, and so it was partially cut down. The gentleman hasn't finished the work yet, so need to follow up on that. But at the same time, it's a good thing. So the location of the tree is near where a lot of girdlers are buried. And the tree is, I don't know, probably 4 foot in diameter. And so I thought that that might be an opportunity, that tree to be an opportunity to insert some history into that cemetery. So Joan Patano, who's some temporary help here, she and I went out there on Sunday and met a tree carver to find out, what could be done with that tree from a carving perspective. Could we somehow have it carved that was something significant of DeKalb history, or maybe people who are buried there. His name is Lynn Butte, and he has he's done several carvings in the area. And so
Hollow it all.
no, it's solid, and it would need to be
For the top. There's a disease going through a lot of the oaks.
And so if we can agree on a design, because as an artist, he wants to be behind whatever it is that we decide to do with that. He is willing to take on the job. Ballpark expense would be $7,000 to $10,000. So I just need to
A cool idea.
kind of get some feedback on it, and
How much would it cost to have it removed?
Not that much, not
yeah.
for what's left there. Probably $2,500. If even that, I don't know how many it's paid.
But is it still 10 feet tall?
No more than that.
Yeah.
It's probably 15.
Would look cool.
And so, we could, kind of turn it into a bit of a community event where, maybe we invite people to come out and watch him carving, and we could potentially reach out to community members for design ideas.
The school. Win an award or something.
Right. Yeah.
Type of thing.
But and then he is willing to, sketch up the design. And so just looking, before I spend too much time with him, or, promoting this or whatever the next steps are going to be, just looking for some feedback on whether if, we'd have the support to move forward.
How long does he think it would last after it's done?
He said about every 2 years it would need to be treated with like a preservation. Yeah. But
Bounce water seal. It's an oak tree, so and it's 200 years old now, so
I just didn't know after, after you lop off the top and strip the bark and carve it all up, like what's the?
Well, because of its an oak,
life-
so he did a carving in sycamore, but it was on a different species of tree. And that particular species, it didn't have the longevity, and so it was, maybe, I think he said 10 years and then it was gone, but he's said with an oak that it would probably outlast us.
I'm for it.
Yeah, I think it draw a lot of attention too, that might be one of I think Evergreen is more historic in age, just old people buried, but. Oakwood's ranked right up there.
Right. Right, and there's so many people buried there that are played a significant role in the history of our community.
Very
that,
much so.
If we could capture
Would be
some of
good.
that, so.
And I think with the improvements over there, eventually getting the roads done, I think just getting. More traffic through there, I think is a great thing.
Yeah, and a lot of cemeteries do have art, but it's, more of a modern type art made of, steel, clay, whatever.
Right,
And so this would be a way to,
or natural.
you're right, and as we're doing the mapping project, it's gonna become more public about who's buried there. Family members can track down, deceased family members, and we might have more traffic in there as time goes on, and this will just be.
Or if you could do like a tribute to the veterans type thing, where you did. Like all the logos of the armed forces or something of that nature.
Yeah,
I'm just.
there's a
spitballing
lot,
there.
right, a lot of possibilities, so,
Yeah.
okay,
That would be fine,
okay, all right, I will,
in theory,
we'll get.
worth looking into.
Right,
Yeah.
so as we make some steps, I'll keep everyone updated on that. So, okay, so that covers some cemetery stuff. Just some events that I went to, I was invited on April 30th to attend the Habitat for Humanity house dedication. It's a really cool thing if you've never been to one, where the homeowners speak and the volunteers are there, and it just really signifies what a set of keys means to a family who didn't previously have a set, so it's really cool. And then on April 1st, Kim and I presented at a all Spanish-speaking parents university for District 428, acquainting them with township services and knowing that although they may not be legalized citizens in our community, if they had children born here, then their children are, and they could potentially be eligible for services. So the first time I've had contact with, the Hispanic community, and Kim has a presence in the Hispanic community. So just yesterday we had someone call and Spanish speaking, and so Kim speaks Spanish. So that person, I brought up Google Translate and got through that conversation the best I could, and she'll be calling back on Friday too.
And I've heard her, she's very fluent in Spanish.
She's been doing some translating or talking to people for the assessors department too, who have questions after the tax bills came out, so it's gonna be of real value to us. So that's all I have. Any questions about any of that? Okay, clerk's report?
My birthday is on the 27th.
Happy birthday.
Happy
No.
birthday.
It's not to be somebody's birthday in here.
It was Dale's recently, a week or
Okay.
so, since the last meeting.
Got it. I'll have a birthday to Dale too.
Highway Commissioner?
My birthday's June 3rd, but
Happy birthday.
what, I want to pass this around. So we recently, with all the personnel policies and changes and policies that we've had in the back. This is my copy. So I had Karen put this together and we kind of ran it all through John. And this is just a sheet that I've had all the employees, all the full-time employees, I should say, sign off on, listing all the policies and kind of that you acknowledge and read this thing and that you are aware of all these policies. So I can pass around if anyone wants to look at it. And, I mean, I don't, Mary, if you're doing all your talking, I mean, if you wanna borrow it, if it's something you wanna utilize. So I just pass it around, we kind of put, we have, you know, cell phone policies, we do credit card policy for the road district and all those things, you know. And I just kept thinking to myself, I don't know if I made them aware of every single one of them or how long, you know, I know the cell phone policy dates back to the 15. You know, it's like, let's revisit all these things and kind of go with that route. So it kind of one big summarized book that they all got, to, you know, there's only two of them or, and well, Karen, three of us, so, or three of them. So, but it gives them a reference at home that they can, you know, whether days off and those kind of things. And then we can also, as if we, and as we amend the personnel policy, you know, and just that they have signed off that they're aware of all this, I think is quite frankly the most important part of it. So, the next, so I brought some examples. This is a sign that has been on our roads since prior to me. Just labels all our roads as DeKalb Township roads. So I finally ran out of them. So, you know, in the 10 years, a lot of them don't get hit. So, and we don't really stick to a regulatory signs in Illinois have to be changed out every 10 years. Those I do not because quite frankly, I don't have to. So this is kind of, and I think I gave everyone a copy of what we're gonna go to. I think I've already ordered 30 of them. It won't be like a mass change. It'll be as these signs get to the shape I just showed you, kind of beat up in that we're gonna start. And who knows, if we get some time in the fall or a slow winter, we might start changing them all out to this logo that you're gonna start seeing at the, you know, start and finish of every township road. So kind of a new thing and kind of drawing the new logo out there.
That'll be nice for branding.
Yeah, then the road districts kind of haven't done a lot of that. I mean, the shirts we all wear are still the old logo and all the trucks still have the old logo. And I think even, you know, years ago when that logo came out, I said I wouldn't afford to change all the existing vehicles, but as we start rotating them out, we will. So that's it. Oh, and thankfully enough, I completely slipped my mind about sending the building IGA to John for him to write the final one. Mary had gotten back to me a while back, so Mary was nice enough to remind me and asked me if it was on the agenda. So it's just completely on me, and I just forgot about it. I did send it to him on Monday, so with any luck, and I'll get it to Mary in the next couple weeks. So we will see that before at the June meeting.
Good deal.
Any questions? Something that I forgot to mention that involves both of us, the auditors were here.
Oh.
They did the audit planning session, a couple Tuesdays ago, I think, and, so they'll be back in June, but they, you know, opened it and got some preliminary information from, both units of government, so.
No, it's kind of refreshing because it was two new people, or one of the two were new, so. You know, so they can kind of visit things that maybe someone else doesn't look at as, so I kind of like that, I guess I should say. I will bring up something too, if you don't mind. There has been an eagle, a bald eagle over by our house on Sunnydale. One of my neighbors claims that it is living in Oakwood Cemetery. Because she's.
There's been an eagle spotted there.
Yeah, Jamie, as we've been hauling dirt down to the old DeKalb Clinic site, he spotted it downtown DeKalb, but I had not seen it from my house. My neighbor that backs up to what I know to be the North 40 and can see across the river, she seems to think it's nesting over there in Oakwood, so. And I didn't get a chance that Jeff was there mowing today and I didn't say, but it's kind of interesting. You don't see those a lot anymore, so. No, I'm done. I apologize.
I also,
Build a nest on the top of that tree.
that'd be really cool. Yeah, I also forgot to mention in my report, so we'll go back to that really quick. I will not be able to attend next month's meeting. I have to travel to Vegas to meet my coworkers in person, but it's the only time I do that during the year because the job is usually remote. So, Kim Barrios will be taking my place for that meeting, and she and I will be, you know, talking soon.
Put it all on red.
Vegas.
What's it?
Put it all on red.
No, I won't be. There's, the whole itinerary is planned out and I'm only staying there for business, so.
Yeah.
I can't go to Vegas without gambling a little bit. That's just my opinion, but
Still got the nickel slots, so.
Or eating broccoli. I don't know if you've seen that commercial.
Oh, yeah, everything's made of
Right.
broccoli milkshake.
Look, he's like, I don't wanna go there.
All right, moving on, obviously Rich is absent tonight, but he asked that I read this to the DeKalb Township Board, Highway Commissioner, Clerk, and members of the public. I apologize for being absent. This should be the last one for the year due to scheduling conflict. Real estate bills for 2022 have been sent out. The first installment is due June 5th, 2023. Overall, most tax bills were lower this year than last year. We are diligently working on the assessments for 2023 while dealing with the questions from the public regarding the newly sent out tax bills. Hope everyone is well and look forward to seeing you all next month. Respectfully submitted, Richard Dyer.
I can say from hearing from other townships, we might be one of the few that are tax bills are a little lower.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why that is. I've heard from a lot of Sycamore people that their taxes went up. And that are outside of our township.
So that's the assessors, trustee report, trustee McNutt,
No report.
trustee King.
Mine is, I guess we can pass it this way. It looks pretty thorough and good. School is over almost. This is finals week. Graduation is Saturday. Same day as the shredding. So good luck. Hopefully there won't be too many clashes with the traffic. And Dale has a report that I want to read. I apologize for not being in attendance tonight. The time of my daughter's annual Sinfonia, hope that's pronounced correctly, concert at NIU was changed to 6:30. Oh, it was changed. I thought he thought it was usually at 7:30. Anyway, I will be away for the, I will be away for work at the Infocom 2023 conference in Orlando, Florida during the time of our June meeting. Oh, so he's letting us know in advance. He'll be away. Well, that's like Comic-Con, but anyway, I plan to attend, must be. It said add in, but I don't think that's what he means, does he? He means attend.
I think so.
Yeah, I plan to attend the meeting remotely as I did for my Infocom 2022 last year. I'm hopeful that one of the other trustees can read the following for my trustee report. DeKalb High School Symphonic Orchestra received a perfect 40 out of 40 score for the second year in a row in the IHSA statewide competition. This is an amazing feat. Even more amazing is that the group received the most superior performance award. That is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
This award is given to only one group across the performance type like band, percussion, orchestra, etc. See a copy of the award certificate below. Oh, okay, so I'll pass it around. Mr. Felder, the director of the orchestra, as well as the other teachers in District 428 program, do an amazing job keeping our kids active, engaged, learning, and excelling. I propose that the township explore means by which we contribute to this program. In light of recent news in the area, I believe we owe it to all of our children to keep them engaged, involved, and well aware that resources are available. It looks as if the building IGA did not make it to the list of old business. Can we have a status update, which you did? Meeting soon. Oh, maybe that's a separate meeting. She gave an update, but at any rate, I am hopeful that we can have an IGA in place and behind us by July meeting, when I will be back in person. If any remaining work needs to be done, please get that in for the July meeting. Also, in light of the recent events and the outstanding numbers of Crime Stoppers, I would love for the township to consider how we can increase our commitment to Crime Stoppers efforts. they have proven that they are effective in keeping our community safe. Oh, I didn't know that Crime Stoppers must have shared some information on the recent events to have occurred. You didn't know either. Okay, well.
I didn't know,
obviously
if
Dale-
they did, I didn't know.
Obviously, Dale was.
I think I think he's referring to what's in the board packet, those statistics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought he.
They may have for the recent one, I'm just not aware of it.
Okay. So that's the
That's
end,
everything?
that's,
Okay.
that's. all he has.
Usually, so.
It is more than it usually says.
And trustee Bradlow did not ask me to relay anything. But thanks for mentioning the shred event on Saturday, because that is coming up. If anyone is able to attend and help, that'd be great. So moving on to bill paying. Can I get a motion for the approval of the April audit report and in the amount of $125,083.40. And that's everything combined, and May bills to pay in the amount of $92,474.22.
I will.
I'm second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee King, Supervisor House.
Yes.
And trustee McNabb, yes. With 3 ayes and 0 nays, the motion passes.
Yes. And then can I get a motion to receive, file, and approve the treasurer's April budget reports?
So move.
I will second that. Discussion?
How come the direct deposit stuff like next to everybody's name on page 15? It's, you know,
Because we are now paying directly through QuickBooks. And so if you go to page 15, if you go to the date is the last 4/3 date. No, I'm sorry, it's the first 4/6 date, QuickBooks payroll service, that just lumps everyone together. And so it's not individualized per person. Because it's paid through payroll, but for these 4 ones, we were actually paid before it came out of March's. Because the way the date.
I just saw,
Yes.
on the 4 1s and then the 4 7.
Yeah.
The 4 1
Yeah.
21, so.
The numbers are captured, it's just not per individual.
What's expert pay?
Expert pay is, it is something new. One of our employees, is paying, child support. And so that happens through expert pay.
That was my only question.
Oh, about the expert pay? Oh, I thought you said that was my other question.
Yeah, you beat me to that one.
Oh, okay, sorry.
0 and the expert pay. That was the only thing I was wondering about.
Any other questions? Lisa?
No,
Okay. Roll call, please.
Trustee McNabb,
Yes.
trustee King,
yes.
Supervisor House.
Yes.
3 ayes and 0 nays, the motion passes.
All right, moving on, unfinished business, the IGA wasn't listed this month, but we can look forward to that being on there next month. New business proclamation recognizing May 2023 as Older Americans Month. So this came to us from Voluntary Action Center requesting us to proclaim this event. So whereas DeKalb Township includes a growing number of older Americans who contribute their time, wisdom, and experience to our community, and whereas communities benefit when people of all ages, abilities, and backgrounds have the opportunity to participate and live independently, and whereas DeKalb Township recognizes the need to create a community that offers the services and supports older adults may need to make choices about how they age. And whereas DeKalb Township can work to build an even better community for older residents, by not limiting our thinking about aging, exploring and combating stereotypes, emphasizing the many positive aspects of aging, inspiring older adults to push past traditional boundaries, and embracing our community's diversity. Now therefore, we of DeKalb Township do proclaim May 2023 to be Older Americans Month. We urge every resident to celebrate our older citizens, help to create an inclusive society, and accept the challenge of flexible thinking around aging. So there's no need to vote on it, just recognizing that. And so I am involved with Triad, and I'm happy to say that through that I've learned that the senior fair that Representative Pritchard used to host is coming back. Senator Resin's going to be hosting that, so that's coming. I think it's in July.
Cool, or where they gonna do it?
Yes.
Where they used to. Mostly, maybe, there might have been other locations.
Right. Right. So it'll be good that stuff because of COVID, from what I understand.
She's opening an office right now.
Who, right, Sue Resin? I don't know.
There's also mental health awareness month.
Motorcycle Awareness Month.
I mean, the traffic in this town, and we need a motorcycle.
They're about to get busy now. I saw some grass out too in the streets, and I heard that that's not good for motorcycles.
No,
No,
that's
There's
bad.
grass out.
Not
Yeah.
supposed to leave your grass in the street.
no, it's not bad, it's not good for anything. It plugs the storm drains,
Yeah.
water to run away and everything.
Yeah, that's the motorcycle slide.
Yeah.
And every time I drive past some grass, I wonder like, where my car slide to?
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't try it, I just wonder.
it will.
Oh,
Your car will slide.
Park and brake.
okay, thanks.
Or is better.
It is indeed.
All right, moving on to item B, discussion and approval of financial contribution to DeKalb County Crime Stoppers. Can I get a motion to bring this to the floor?
Second,
I'll motion.
oh, I'm sorry.
All right, discussion.
Dumped it in my head.
So I had reached out to the sheriff's office a few weeks ago, knowing that the 1-year anniversary date of our contribution to Crime Stoppers was coming up. And so Bill Davey, who's the president of Crime Stoppers, he and I had a meeting. And so if you flip to page 48, this is a report of how the money was utilized in the past year. As you recall, last year we gave them $5,000 to help with their tip, getting tips from the community. And so I was just really impressed with how this money has been utilized. Chad, I don't know if you could maybe elaborate on some of these things. And I mean, these are all within DeKalb Township. Like if some, I know what UPCS is,
I do not. I was gonna ask that question.
but
Controlled substance.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, everything comes in anonymous, and there's no honor among thieves sometimes, and people turn each other in to get a few $100, but it pays off because then arrests are made that take
Use
users off the street.
yeah.
And then wherever there's drug sales, there's property crime, crimes against persons, and everything else that surrounds it. So, I mean, for what little money we spend, it draws people out to do the right thing, that they might not do the right thing on their own, but if they know they're gonna get $200, $300, $500, then they're more apt to do it, and it pays off. So.
and we in our lobby, we have a sign that talks about Crime Stoppers paying money. And I like to believe that maybe people are paying attention to that, and knowing that a large portion of our community, or a large portion of the residents that are coming here are living in the northwest side of town. They may see things, and so, but obviously with everything being anonymous, we have no record of any of that. So Mr. Davey and I talked about the possibility of us making a contribution again this year. And so he, thought that $5,000 served them well. Again, this is
Obviously, yes.
only
Yeah.
DeKalb Township. And so in front of you tonight is a resolution to I'm recommending approval that we give Crime Stoppers $5,000 again.
What's the FTA warrant? Can I?
Failed to appear. Like they failed to appear.
Oh, to go to court. Okay.
Yes, those are good. I see there's some recovered guns on there. So,
A lot of cocaine.
And almost every month, there's someone calling. I mean, there's very few months that no one is utilizing that, is, you know,
Yeah,
so that's what's remarkable. January was a rough month.
yeah, it looks like it, right? Cause it's a lot. And cocaine just sticks out, cause that movie Cocaine Bear. Not that it's at all related, but I just think like, oh, cocaine is a big deal.
And if I do believe, and maybe you can back me up on this, that they are paid out on tips after an arrest and conviction has happened. I believe that the individual has.
I don't know
been
if it needs,
convicted.
I don't know the official rules that it has to go all the way to conviction, but. You can't just give a tip and walk in with your hand out,
Right,
you know.
right.
There's gotta be results,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
Their website would probably have a
Yeah,
pretty good description of the
That's what it is.
process.
so,
Even an arrest though, you know, makes them know that just people are watching.
Yep.
all right, so if any further discussion on this?
No.
Good for me.
All right, roll call please.
Sounds good. Trustee Kim,
Aye.
trustee McNutt,
I,
supervisor Hess,
Yes.
right.
remains.
Okay, well then I will issue a check for $5,000 to Crime Stoppers and hopefully continue on. All right, so next we have,
I'm sorry.
yes,
How much money did they have before we gave them 5,000? Like, is this all that they spent, all that we gave them?
no, they have other funds, but one of the funding sources that they had, I don't remember what it was, diminished. And so, they do things through fundraisers, they get money from.
I was just curious. I
Yeah.
thought it.
Yeah.
Like,
And this is because I don't know what they use to pay out for like Sycamore or Cortland.
okay,
So this is just,
But
this
it
is staying
shows
in our
100%
township.
of the money that. you
then we gave them,
contributed.
yeah, that's what I was
So,
thinking, like,
I think that's.
well,
remarkable,
and
you know.
plus $350, right?
Yeah,
And we put a stipulation that we wanted to go for townships.
yes,
So-
yes, they're very aware of
They
that.
used it all, so that's good.
No, I think that's a real plus.
Okay, so next, we are going to hear a presentation. Danita?
There, Sean.
Oh, there she is. Hi, welcome. So wherever you. So last year you all met Miss Danita Sims. We've had a contract with her for the past year and a half for employment services where she meets with residents just off the street who want to have gainful employment or as a requirement of our emergency assistance program, if they're not working at least 25 hours a week, we require them to meet with Danita because they need to have a plan for paying next month's rent if we're gonna help them with this month. So the contract, the expiration date came and went at the end of April. So I have asked Ms. Sims to come in and talk about the services she's provided and some of the outcomes we've seen and in order to continue on and sign the new contract. So thank you.
Thank you for having me. So first of all, this is having a background in workforce in DeKalb County, in case management and business services. This is by far my favorite part, which is to connect with the job seekers, and to also kind of see if we can make connections with our businesses now, hopefully, right? And so since it's my favorite part, I get excited. So but so far, I just wanted to kind of present to the board some of the numbers. So in 2022, for the whole year, we had 127 appointments scheduled. So that's either people reaching out because they wanted to meet directly with the job coach myself, or they were applying for services here, and they were recommended to come, strongly recommended to come. So we had 127 total for 2022. For this year so far, it's been 34 scheduled appointments. So out of those scheduled appointments, last year, our no call, no show rate was a little over 50%. So it's like 53.54%. This year so far, it's at 32 already. So it's 11 so far. That was a big concern, Mary and I talked about at length and we switched up how we were gonna move forward with making appointments. So we don't want it to be something where we're forcing them to make an appointment and they just don't show up and they completely just disregard it. So we kind of switched up the process. Now the clients are it's suggested to give me a call on a specific line to make that appointment. And I think that will help because that shows more initiation on the client's part that they're actually following through. And it kind of gives more of a sense of this is a service we're providing. But it's something you should really take a look at because you're coming to us saying you need these services. So it kind of gives more of a concept of what the additional service is. And it also gives them, I feel like, is a stronger communication to them that it's not necessarily a part of your application process, but this is something that we're considering because of everything you just told us, like your situation, whatever that is at that point. And it also gives them a piece of, they don't have to bring their application to me, because that was a little bit of confusion too. So people were showing up to the job coach appointment saying, well, here's my application, I filled out everything. And I said, no, actually hold off and get that to Mary or your case manager you're assigned to. This is a separate service. And so I think it will help with that part of the process, and it will help with no call, no shows. At least in my mind. So we switched that up a little bit. And so far onto the job part. So
If I could interject, we also switched, so we had just in-person appointments on Wednesdays here. And we thought that, transportation barriers or scheduling was also maybe a cause for the no calls, no shows. And so we added in 2 additional days with Zoom or just phone in appointment capability for so that, those other barriers could be removed.
The average is in the 30s now, right?
right.
The average is in the 30s.
Yeah, it's working.
Yeah, it has, yeah. So we're hoping to see more of that too. Yeah, and it has, we've had tons of people to show up via Zoom or if their camera's not on or something like that, and we've been able to talk, and people seem, of course, freer to talk when they don't have a camera in their face too, so that's been.
I don't turn mine on.
Yeah.
When they don't show, what is the follow?
So what I've done from my end is to email them that same day or within the 24 hours to say, hey, we were scheduled for such and such appointment. Looks like you didn't get a chance to show up. Unfortunately, you can't reschedule with me, but I give them the information for the DeKalb Workforce Office. And I say they're open from these hours and they offer walk-ins. So that way it's not, hey, you couldn't meet with me, but we still provide that information. It's the address, the name, I put the hours on there, and I encourage them that, hey, it's open, they accept walk-ins. And that's something I went in to ask about specifically.
So does that help them if they say they?
Well, if it's a resident who's coming to us asking us for financial assistance and they don't meet if they miss their appointment with Danita, they've got one more chance to go to Illinois WorkNet and get verification that, they're getting employment assistance. And if they opt not to do that, then they could be denied for emergency assistance.
So we try not to leave
No
them,
free ride.
right? Try not to leave them empty-handed
Right.
because car breakdown or something like. But I've had very, very few people that have actually said, "I am so sorry." Something crazy happened. It's very few. I want to say maybe 2 people since I've been doing it that have actually had something to say about why they couldn't make it or try to make it up.
Is there a reason why they can't reschedule with you?
Well, I think we issued that after the first few months of having people no call, no show several times.
Oh, okay.
So
it's a
because
pattern.
so they were scheduling, getting their application packet, scheduling an appointment with me and then not showing up. And then the case manager would reschedule them and they wouldn't show up the second time either.
And she has limited slots during the week, so they're just taking up someone else's.
Okay, okay. I was just curious.
Yeah.
Real expensive.
Yeah, and it's very convenient to meet with Danita, you know, if they're, you know, could come, if they have transportation to get here or by Zoom or by phone, whereas it's not so convenient to go to Illinois WorkNet because they're on Peace Road and there's no bus stop nearby.
Right,
There's no
right.
bus stop there?
No,
Well, that's why I asked about rescheduling with her, cause I know it's a pain if you don't show up. But if you're really in a tough position,
Yeah,
is that like a punitive thing?
a little bit because we still have, if they don't show, we're still paying for it. Because Danita's services are contract.
No, I get it, I just, I don't know.
Or what if they call and give you a reason, then would they get?
We have a cancellation policy.
Oh,
That if you
Okay,
cancel within 24 hour or, you know, 24 hours before the appointment, you can reschedule.
okay,
so
okay.
these no call, no shows are literally people who just don't.
they just
No
don't show up,
call,
Don't show, I don't even
Okay.
rank them as no call, no show if they do call or if they,
alright.
yeah, I don't put them down. if they do
Yeah.
that. Cause that's, I mean, that in my brain, it's like if if you got hired somewhere and something came up, you would try to communicate. Even if it was emergency, you couldn't do it before, but you, at some point, you would make
Yeah.
some sort of communication.
Right.
to
That's,
say-
that's very true. This is an
So-
expectation of jobs too. And so we're just, yeah, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, and I used to work at the workforce, it wasn't called that, but at the workforce development office for years, and we tried our best to get on the bus route, and we could not, but it's definitely something that's, you know, it's an issue, if someone's looking for employment and they can't get to services.
Then when they-
No, I get
You
it.
have to wanna look for
Yeah, you really do, you really.
No, I get that. I guess my concern is that the person understands all this at the time, when they sign up for, what is it, GA or emergency funds, they
Emergency.
understand that
Yes, we do
these are,
go over it.
go through, okay, all
And
right,
then when they call to schedule an appointment, it's reiterated. Danita.
all right. And I, the reason I asked again is because I think sometimes when people, are, you know, when you're under trauma,
Right, when you're.
you don't process the same way you would,
Absolutely.
you know, if you're just casually coming in, and go, oh, yeah, let me get $50.
Absolutely.
You know, I need to go, okay, I'll come back, you know, when the
Right.
sun shines, when it's raining. So that's all, I just don't want this experience to be yet another traumatic experience. And I'm not looking for people to get, you know, a free ride. I just think that we need to have some compassion for people
Right,
that are already in a traumatic situation.
Exactly.
You know, if I'm in crisis, hopefully,
Right.
you know.
and I mean, when a person comes to us as part of the application process, they're getting referrals to, you know, 3 to 4 places, family service agency, maybe to DHS or other things. So this is just part of that process. And, you know, in some cases, they'll manage to follow through with 2 referrals and not with others. And so, yeah, unfortunately, there's, you know, multiple steps and.
No, I get that, and they can call back, so they get like a caseworker. So you're a caseworker?
Right now I am.
Okay, and Karen, is that her name?
Erica.
Erica, I don't know why I said Karen. Karen is the lady that speaks Spanish.
Oh, it's Kim.
Kim,
She's not a caseworker.
okay. And so they can call and ask questions and,
Oh, sure.
okay, all right. I don't know why I
Sorry.
didn't think of Erica.
So that's been, I think that's been going well. And then as far as jobs, so 11, almost 12% of the clients that I had appointments with obtained new employment after
Oh,
either
wow.
meeting. And this year so far, we're at 21%.
Oh, that's pretty
So
good.
6 out of the ones for this year so far. I just got a call yesterday from someone who got a job. So I'm trying to keep on top of that. And only 2 people so far have taken me up on the interview. So a lot of people assume, oh, I don't need help with it. So I've tried to be intentional about offering interviews since our last meeting just to kind of track it, but a lot of
Coaching,
people.
like interview coaching.
Yeah, I'm like, do you have some, maybe we can practice some interview questions. Depending on what they say about their last employment, I might ask them if, are you comfortable talking about, your layoff or, is there anything, can you answer the tell me about yourself question? I try to give them examples based on our conversation. So most people feel like, oh no, I got that. So I don't push it if they feel confident.
You give them a handout or something or something?
I go over it right then and there. It's like,
Oh, okay.
if they want more, I definitely do. I kind of leave it up to them. But people feel like if I get in the door, I can present
That's
myself.
what they think.
Yes,
Always.
yes.
Only they know.
Then people freeze.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's more than, the majority of the people do not interview well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you've helped with a lot of resume development, right?
That's the majority of services. That's something I offer not during the call. That's something I try to offer after. I have them to email me either their current resume or some of them actually haven't had any resume, so they'll type up their work history and I'll kind of get them a generic job description for each title depending on what they tell me about the company. I actually don't have that. I should probably track that. But that's the majority. I offer resumes for the majority of clients because most of the resumes I see are not up to par, say that. And they don't really express a lot. A lot of people are using the resumes generated through Indeed. If you've ever printed those out, they're like 5 or 6 pages long. And so it's not really feasible for somebody to take that as their only resume. So I try to give them something they can use a page or two at the most.
Do you talk to the employers to see, I mean, I don't know if you know
Some,
places
yeah.
that they would go and see what they want.
Yeah, some. I've gone to, even at the chamber event that just happened. So I'll go to some of those job fairs if I know that they're gonna be employers they're hiring and just ask and I grab information. I might include it in the job leads list we send out every week, or I'll share it. So that list that I do and share it with the township and I'll post it. I also share it to the job seekers that I've already met with. So they get it to in their email box as well.
I didn't know we did that.
Yeah, every
There's a
Wednesday on our
list.
Facebook page, she has a list of current, or employers who are hiring. And it results in, it has the highest views of anything that
It's
we
pretty
post on
extensive
Facebook.
list.
Oh, okay, I don't know,
Anything
I
that's
wasn't aware of
different
that.
theme.
Yeah, I try to go with the theme to make it fun, but
Okay.
make it interesting.
Yeah.
So we get, that's a good return too. And that gets shared a lot, outside of just by us. Others are sharing it on Facebook, so.
And we get some employers that call. say,
Yes,
How can we get on that list?
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
Then they have to talk to me
yes.
and I can
Okay.
ask really good questions.
Good. No, that's great.
That's
Yeah.
a great thing.
Yeah, it is. I didn't know that. So good.
Yeah, I mean, the goal is with the individuals who are coming in here who, with the way utility prices have gone up and food prices have gone up, we see people who are working, not a full-time job or they're working outside of the community and all their money's going to gas because, they're working minimum wage or close to minimum wage and not enough hours in the week. So, how can we help, you become more self-sufficient so that, because you can only get emergency assistance once in a 12-month period, and there's not a lot of rent resources in this community. So how can we help you so that, take away some of the stress you're dealing with? And
Yeah, and some of the conversations are even giving more background about the resources available when it comes to either going back to school, getting some type of training. So some people have heard of programs, but they're not sure how they work. And so since I have experience with WIOA and things like that, I'm able to explain, oh no, you just go in and, you ask these questions, they'll give you the information you need. But yes, it is a grant. Some people are just kind of like, yeah, right. No, it is a grant. They do have these programs available. So some of the calculations are that as well. Or we've connected with Goodwill because they have a program where people can get interview clothes. I think 2 sets of interview clothes. I've worked with a local salon for people who needed to get their hair done for interviews. So just knowing about the resources that are available and then being able to share it depending on the client's, situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then recently we've had a couple of individuals who have come to us that have felony histories, and Danita has experience with I don't wanna use the improper term.
Expungements.
No,
Businesses that hire,
No, yes, some businesses that hire, they're
Yeah.
felony friendly.
Right.
And so like I've subscribed to some of these different ones throughout the state and been able to share. And even, I remember one particular gentleman, he was having an issue and I really encouraged him to go through the Department of Labor. They have a complaint process, you know, so you could at least get your case looked at. And so, you know, I think that person was even living in their car. So it was like one of those situations where
okay.
you were in a dire situation, but you might be able to look into these resources.
Do we have any locally, do you know?
Not locally.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
felon friendly?
Oh, felony friendly jobs? Yes, it depends on the charge.
I'm just,
It depends on the charge, yeah. So
I
I,
guess there is something here.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's something. I've, you know, over the years, it's gotten a little more flexible. But the employers that at least I've been in contact with, it's very much dependent on, you know, what the charge is and, but yeah, there are.
Any questions? Any other questions?
Did kind of as we went. I learned a lot, so I didn't know, I learned some stuff I didn't know, yeah.
All right, so,
Else you guys good?
what's that?
You need me to say?
Well, let's just do the vote. So,
We never did it first. and a second.
well, that's what I mean. We're gonna do the vote. I had her present first. So can I get a motion to approve the renewal of contract with Passion Pursuit Incorporated for continued employment services?
I will.
Second.
Okay.
Sorry. Any final discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed or abstain? All right, motion passes, so we'll get that contract over to you. Do it as we're doing. And we, you know, in the past year, we have certainly tweaked the system, knowing this doesn't seem to be working. And so I'm hopeful we're in a place now with having them call you directly that,
No shows are down and job placement is up then.
Yeah.
And you're already seeing that in the first 4 months.
Yeah.
So.
all right, so thank you for coming.
Thank you for
out
having
tonight,
me.
And see you,
Soon,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
all right, and then can I get a motion to approve the minutes of the regular Board of Trustees meeting of April 11th, 2023? Okay. I will second that. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anyone abstain or no? Okay. Passes. There's no executive session, so other business. You received an email that our Efficiency Act Committee meeting, the Decennial Act, will take place on May 23rd at 6 p.m. And that's will include all of the trustees and then the Highway Commissioner, myself, Dr. Kurt Thameyer, Ellingsworth Webb, and Zach Gill, who's the city engineer, and he's representing, right, Zach Gill? Is representing the.
Yes, I'm sorry, yes.
So that will be the first meeting where we're just gonna kind of lay the groundwork for how this is gonna go. And interestingly enough, I was invited to serve on the Decennial Act or the Efficiency Committee meeting for the Water Reclamation District. So it's gonna be interesting to watch how their process goes. They're using the services of NIU Center for Governmental Studies. So that's a discussion we could have at our first meeting.
You said May 23rd at 6.
Yes.
I know, I think. Portland reached out to me, I have not looked into a lot and just brought it in, they just had theirs, and I think Sycamore and Bolt Township. Both did theirs this week, their first one.
And then our next regular meeting is on June 14th of 2023 at 6 p.m. So if there's nothing else, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I will.
I'll second. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, we are adjourned at 7:04.